So I'm hesitant to do cold opens now.
Why?
Because if we talk about anything current, it takes me so long to edit that it's like a month out of date.
No, we can still.
It's like, oh, Bobby Lashley just won the WWE title last night. But
Watch him lose it.
I'll probably lose at WrestleMania, which I'm like...
Will this be up by WrestleMania?
We are at least stockpiling for the network coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we said that we're going to do that.
Which
so
I
we
think
have our
that's
house
the
covered.
18th. I think it's the day after
It's
St.
soon.
Patrick's Day.
Oh, is it?
Well, St. Patrick's Day is always the 17th, but you always forget.
In my head, it was the 4th.
No, the 4th is Paramount Plus.
Oh. Too many things happening.
So we will at least have a stockpile for that, and we'll find out if it took any time then, but...
Yeah, so that can be like our time sort of stamp. Bobby Lashley won the title last night.
I said I wasn't trying to date it. Let's just hammer home what date it is. Even
We're
more
gonna.
and more.
It is March 2nd, 2021. It is roughly 1:30 p.m., 1:45 p.m.
We have fallen behind, much like WCW is about to fall behind in any sort of quality or ratings and
But
all of that. Somehow this did a crap ton of buys, but I don't see why.
I don't understand.
Welcome to episode 14, SuperBrawl 1999.
Woohoo!
They actually had a little video package at the start that I can play the audio for, which is nice. Because usually we throw to it, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to play. And I'm like, I remember there was this video package.
Ric Flair has done it. We've got ourselves a new world champion. The first undefeated man in the history of this sport. Luger won the title. Luger won the title. The new world heavyweight champion, Hollywood Hogan. Kevin Nash is crowned world heavyweight champion. Bigelow on the assault again. To be the best to be the world heavyweight champion. Hogan and Flair again. You talking about hatred?
I don't remember the video package really.
It was just setting up the thing. Like, usually the opening video packages aren't super memorable, but it was like, it at least is telling you, hey, here's what's going to happen on this show.
Yeah, but WCW has generally had fairly forgettable, generic video packages for their pay-per-views. Like, on WWE TV, they're at least kind of like cinematic. They're, fire and flames, and here are some cool shots of Triple H flexing. It's not even that on WCW most of the time.
I mean, it seems like they're just starting to do them.
True.
So we will kind of see what happens with that, because they still only have the blank generic entrance videos. They did not have the large Titantron. They had a little side Tron. It's time for our favorite game.
You sound so excited.
I sound distracted because I did not look these up beforehand. How many pay-per-view buys did SuperBrawl IX get? For scale, Sold Out 99 did 330,000 buys, and SuperBrawl 8 did 415,000 buys.
So you said this was like a crap ton of buys. You said this was a significant number.
This is the last great buy rate they ever have.
I'm going to say I got 450.
Even higher, 485.
Damn.
And,
That's the highest they ever get again?
yeah, it's among the highest they've had. I know, really enough, Bash of the Beach has just kind of become one of their landmark shows, because things just seem to happen then. It's an anniversary of a couple different things, of Hogan coming in, the start of the NWO. But, yeah.
Listen to me scoff every time you say the letters NWO.
Or Hogan. But SuperBrawl 9, February 21st, 1999, at the Oakland, I think it's the Oakland Coliseum.
Yep, I wrote it down. Oh, so we were pretty close on the timeline, because we watched this on February 24th.
Yeah, so we waited a week after to record.
Yeah, and every day since we watched it, we were like, oh, we should record. Oh, we should record. But it was just, we were so unenthused by the actual pay-per-view that we were just like, I don't really want to relive it. We can watch it another time.
Well, speaking of reliving things, the pay-per-view opens with a clip from Thunder. I think it was the final clip they showed, and it's our mystery man with Torrie Wilson, who they still haven't given her a name. I forget what it said on this episode, whether it was Torrie or Samantha.
I think it was Samantha.
But it's the clip of her getting the ticket. Like, oh my god, you're taking me to SuperBrawl? My friends are going to be so jealous.
Isn't this also the clip that she, like, had the stun stick and she was like, come here, baby, let me, use this on you or something. Like, she was kind of using the stun stick as, like, a toy.
You're thinking of a different one, but she did still have the stun stick in this clip. What a hot opening for SuperBrawl.
Start hot, get ice fucking cold by the end of it.
Yeah. Then they do the video package, as previously mentioned. You know, it's pretty good considering there's normally nothing there.
I need to share this chuckle that I just had with myself. I realized that I did actually, like, take notes on the video package because I was writing down all the names of the people that are in the package. I take my notes on an iPad, so sometimes autocorrect takes over. And, did you know that Big Elbow was in this package? Bam Bam Big Elbow.
Oh, okay. I'm like, who are you trying?
I saw that.
I'll be honest.
Must share.
I don't want to type it out every time, so I just type BBB.
Oh, that's smart. I usually just do Bam Bam, because that's easier.
Yeah, I just do BBB, and then I'm like, I'll call it differently depending on how I'm writing it. And I literally have not written Eric Bischoff in months. I just do EB.
You're smarter than I am with that stuff.
I'm also a slower typer, I would assume.
Fair. But yeah. This package had Flair, Nash, Hogan, Goldberg, Luger, and Big Elbow.
How is that not his finisher? It's the Bam Bam Big Elbow.
Because we already have the Big Wiggle. We can't have the Big Wiggle and the Big Elbow. People will get confused.
Also, during part 2 of the build, we would have seen Paul White debut in AEW. Oh, I'm sorry. That's now. We would have seen Paul White debut on WWF.
Isn't that fucking wild?
Yeah.
The Big Show just really didn't pay off. He's got to get back in the ring.
All right. What are you going to call him?
In AEW?
Yeah, what would you have his gimmick name? Because it can't be the Big Show. I don't think it can be the Giant.
How about just Big Show, but big spelled B-E-E-G? The Big Show. B-E-E-G-S-H-O.
What is this, TNA?
I'm trying to think of, like, what they did with the Dudley Boys. Like, just change a couple letters. It's fine.
In the arena, we get shown the new tag team championship belts. At least how they pitched it. I don't remember the old ones well enough, but they seem shiny and new.
Weren't they in, like, boxes?
Yes.
Yeah, so they came off as new. I would expect them to be new.
Well, I also would expect them to then open with the tag team title match.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, they just show them and they're like, yep, we'll see that later on. Yeah. And I'm like...
Here they are. Later, bye. Like, what was the point of that?
I don't know.
Yeah, because the tag team things don't happen... They're like 5th on the card.
We go to the commentators and they talk about the main event and then throw to a video package talking about the tag title tournament. I'm like, oh, a video package. Nice. It was just kind of like going like, basically it was good for us because it was here to everything that happened on Thunder and segments we skipped.
Yeah, the whole tournament recap basically.
Yes. I don't even know how much you remember it, but I just want to talk about Benoit's mullet.
Yes, I do remember the mullet.
Man has a glorious mullet.
Oh, I don't think I'd call it glorious. It's a mullet. It's there. I don't know if it's glorious.
We then get Mean Gene shilling the hotline, and we actually tried to call the hotline. But unfortunately, we got a call could not be completed as dialed.
Yeah, they disconnected the number. Did you notice that they blocked out the Canadian number, but not the U.S. number?
Well, that was why we tried it.
Yeah, but why did they block out the Canadian number?
I'm wondering if that is now something else.
Oh, maybe. Because, like, yeah, in my head, if you're going to block out one, just block out both.
Yeah.
Like, they're old phone numbers.
I mean, you're already chopping up these pay-per-views a little bit. Just fucking cut it.
True, yeah.
I forget if it's commentary or Gene who notes it, but there are 9 matches tonight.
I don't remember either, but there's really 9 matches? Oof.
We mentioned previously that I was playing the game Journey of Wrestling. I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Journey into Wrestling? No. Journey into Darkness?
No, not Journey of Darkness. Journey of Wrestling. And, like, I'll have my pay-per-view cards, and I'm like, I'll have, like, 6 matches, and I'll be like, oh, you can put, like, a fuck ton on here. And I'm like, I don't really feel the need to. Like, I have these feuds. I'm just going to put a random fucking match on here? Yeah. I'm just going to put something like Booker T and Disco Inferno on here?
That would be silly.
Well, that's our opening match.
Yeah.
Disco Inferno comes out first. He has the Blank Void entrance video,
Yes.
as does Booker T. During Disco's entrance, they throw to a clip from Thunder, which we talked about, which is just Stevie and Booker T like be like, hey, you should join the NWO, and then Booker chokes Disco Inferno for mocking them.
Yeah, it's just like Disco talking shit, and then Booker just comes at him with a chokehold. Like, whoa.
Yeah, it was aggressive, but also that match was already made for SuperBrawl because there was a Booker T promo where they're like, you're facing Disco Inferno at SuperBrawl, and it's like, why?
I don't know. Maybe they're giving it more of a reason, like retconning basically. Like, we made this match, let's make it matter.
I noted that Disco Inferno was Disney bounding as Harley Quinn.
Yes.
If you don't know what Disney bounding is, it's basically you just dress in the same colors as a character, and for some reason that's Disney bounding.
It's supposed to be like you're dressing in normal modern day clothes, but the way you put the outfit together is inspired by a certain Disney character or just character in general. Because like there's a background to it. I watched a fucking documentary because I get bored. You're not allowed to go to the Disney parks in costume, but people want to go in costume because like adults are cosplayers and they want to like show off their costume, but they don't want the kids at the park to get confused, so they do it as minimally as possible. And it's called Disney bounding because you're dressing like this to be Disney bound. In
the match, we get a pretty big disco sucks early on.
Yeah.
On commentary, they talk about how the NWO don't care about tradition.
I didn't think that was a thing that they were like for.
I don't know. They're really pushing that because
really.
Flair is constantly talking about that too. But yeah, like they're talking about it in like the history of the belt. Like they don't care about tradition and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, care only a certain amount. Like there is a level of respect, but
there's a difference between tradition and respect. Yes, and they have neither.
Booker T hits a Harlem sidekick and then a scissor kick. He also catches a top rope axe handle from Disco with a spine buster. Disco then goes for the chart buster, which is a stunner, but Booker counters it. Booker then hits another Harlem sidekick and a very sloppy spinneroonie.
Yeah, this is the sloppiest spinneroonie.
Well, it looked fine compared to the finish of this match, which is Booker T hitting the Harlem Hangover, which is basically a spinning leg. It's like a 360 leg drop. His calf and knee just kind of hit Disco right in the head.
Oh, yeah. I think we rewound it to like see where his actual knee landed. Because we were both like, ugh.
It looked Kidman-esque.
You get more skeeved out by Kidman than I do. I've seen Kidman do that move enough times where he hasn't hurt anybody that I'm like, it looks bad, but it'll be fine. I don't see Booker T like mess up like that. So that one scared me.
I don't know. If I see someone hitting sloppy pile drivers, like, well, you didn't break anyone's neck yet, I'd be like, you're gonna, though. It's kind of like watching Bryan Adams. I was about to call him Crush, because I'm like, oh, it's Crush. What the fuck's his...
Well, Bryan Adams, every time you say it, I'm like, what country song did he sing?
I think he is a country singer, right?
I don't know.
That sounds like a country...
That's why I get confused.
Oh, is that going to be... funny thing is, you don't remember enough of the names. That'd be a good game for us to play where I give you a list of the NWO or a country singer.
Ooh, that is a fun game. Put that together next episode.
Stevie Ray Cyrus. So, we didn't really talk much about it, but this was a fine to pretty good match.
I really didn't mind this match. It was really high energy. It was a good match to start on.
Yeah, I think if this match had been later in the show, we kind of would have been like, but yeah. It was a good warm-up match.
They were both really high energy, and that's a good way to start. Even if it was kind of a, underwhelming move set kind of match. There wasn't a ton of, high-flying, big spins, big moves. It wasn't that kind of high energy, but it was, a good enough, pump-up-the-crowd match that I was like, yeah, I'm into this.
Yeah, it was, the legal definition of, this is a pro wrestling match. This is,
yes.
The standard kind of thing of,
This is generic, but in the best way.
So yeah, it was a match with not a lot of story. Our next match has obviously more story, but they really didn't do a ton in the in-between pay-per-views.
No, not really.
Our next match is Chris Jericho versus Perry Saturn, and it's the loser wears a dress again.
Yeah, it's the exact same stipulation.
Jericho comes out in a poncho for some reason.
Yeah. But more importantly, Ralphus comes out in a beautiful dress and sweater set. complete with makeup, earrings, jewelry, the whole nine. Looking amazing.
Well, they also come out with the referee.
Yes.
And commentary's like, that's a little weird. And it's referee Scott Dickinson again, who is apparently back from his 30-day suspension.
Which was definitely not 30 days.
It might have been. Really? There were 5 weeks of build, so if they did it the first Nitro after,
maybe.
which I think they did, they would have, it literally would be 34 days later, so.
Okay, so maybe. I guess it's possible. But it wouldn't be out of line for WCW to be like, it was 30 days.
What's time?
Exactly. Even in 1999, they were like, time is an illusion.
So I found a number on this. I don't know how accurate it is. Ralphus. So Ralphus was part of the kind of ring crew, and I think he would also like to help drive the trucks. So I don't know what he was being paid for that part of his job, but apparently to be on TV, he was getting paid $200 a show.
Okay.
I can't figure out if that's good or bad money for considering what he's doing. Because he doesn't really need to know any spots. He doesn't really interfere in matches. No. He is just part of the act.
He just stands there.
And you probably need to stick around for the show anyway, so...
Yeah, because when he was doing this, he was still ring crew. He was active ring crew.
Yes, that's my understanding.
So it's a bonus $200. I think that's good. To do absolutely nothing.
Well, I had to wear a dress.
To be Jericho's bumbling idiot manager.
So Perry Saturn then comes out in a fairly tight dress.
He doesn't look bad.
Yeah, he pulls off. And on commentary, Tony Schiavone kind of makes the same note I had. It looks like a singlet.
Yeah.
So it looks like a slightly open bottom singlet because the bottom of the dress really goes to his upper thigh.
Yeah.
But he's also rocking eyeliner.
Okay, he leaned into it. No one ever told you that you had to wear makeup with this, but you put on that eyeliner. You leaned in.
We get a great line from Bobby Heenan when Perry Saturn comes out. Welcome to the Bay Area.
To which Nick had to explain to me that this part of California has the gay neighborhoods.
San Francisco.
San Francisco is known for its gay communities. I have never actually been to California, really, except for Comic-Con, and that was a whole other... I don't even think I was in the United States during that. That was a wild fucking time. So I've never been to California. I don't know these things. So when they made that comment, I was like, I don't get it. So we had to have a whole conversation.
So the bell rings to start the match, and Jericho grabs a mic. Oh, okay. Jericho calls Saturn a freak and an embarrassment and says he looks like an idiot. Then the match starts.
He doesn't look like an idiot, though. Jericho has come out in stupider outfits.
Saturn hits a nice T-bone suplex and then a belly-to-belly. And this is where I started to note it. You might note it in the last match, where commentary is just off and very antagonistic with each other.
I noted it during the last match. They were not really talking much about the match. They were just kind of talking amongst each other, and it was just kind of rude and snippy.
I know Bobby Heenan did not like Tony Schiavone. I don't know how Tony felt about Bobby, but I'm wondering if that's more and more coming to light.
It's frustrating. I noted during this, I want to be able to turn commentary off because they're kind of ruining the match.
I actually felt the need after this show to be like, is Bobby Heenan almost done on commentary? He has another year. I'm like, yeah.
This is bad.
Yeah, it was so aggressive towards each other. I'm like, are you about to be fired?
There's difference between face and heel commentary heat. That's one thing. This is just personal attacks.
Yeah. Oh, are you paying attention?
Yeah.
What happened there?
It's not your wife is a whore or whatever, stuff like that. It's mild antagonism. It's not personal in those kinds of ways, I guess is what I was trying to say. But it's just antagonistic in a schoolyard bully kind of thing. I don't know. It's just childish.
Yeah, it's not Michael Cole telling Jerry Lawler that his dead mother's ashamed of him. That happened.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's as bad as it was, it's still better than late 2010, early 2011 heel Michael Cole commentary. No. You can't have your head play-by-play guy being an obnoxious fucking dickhead heel.
And I think the difference for WWE versus WCW is the main commentators on WWE, Michael Cole, Jim Ross, those kinds of names. they have like the heel face energy towards each other, but they still have chemistry. Like they are saying the right things to each other to like work with the storyline, but also not distract from the match.
So I know what you mean, but it's very rare that JR and Cole are on commentary.
I don't know why I said Cole. I meant to say Lawler.
Yeah.
But no, it was usually JR and Jerry Lawler.
Yes.
Yeah, so they had really good chemistry with each other. They could rib on each other, but still commentate the match in a way that was not overly distracting. The way that Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan are doing it is just nitty and distracting.
You know what I think pushes that right to the limit, where I still enjoy it, but man, is it close to being obnoxious, is it's only like 6 months, but it's Jim Ross and Paul Heyman.
I don't like Paul Heyman on commentary.
Literally, like, that's his only stretch of doing it, so.
Good. Because I also don't really like Taz on commentary. I find him a little obnoxious.
Yes.
He's better, but I don't like him.
Yeah, Taz is still growing. I think we saw a lot of bad Taz. He gets kind of weird, especially, I've showed you clips of him in AEW. And there's just now a whole Botchamania segment to just him just getting ribbed by Excalibur.
With Taz, I feel like he kind of reminds me of a video game where he has like set phrases that he says, and he like, you kind of know when he's going to say certain phrases. Like when someone gets pinned, oh, that's it. And the second Taz is like, oh, that's it, you know that they're going to kick out. Anyway, commentary this episode is really fucking annoying.
In the ring, Saturn catapults Jericho to the outside and then vaults on top of him. Saturn then tosses Ralphus inside the ring and rips the dress off of him for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
Really unprompted.
It was kind of unprompted, but it made me laugh because when Ralphus came out, I think I even noted to you that they kept the tags on the dress that Ralphus was wearing. So in my head, I'm like, oh, WCW Production's going to return this dress. They don't want to pay for it. And then they rip it off. I'm like, well, what was the point of keeping the tags on?
I think it was just to make Ralphus seem trashy. Because he needs help.
Yeah, really.
Jericho dropkicks Saturn from behind, followed shortly by an attempted cocky pin, which gets countered. Jericho then hits a corkscrew flying nothing. There are variations of the flying nothing.
Yes.
Because a lot of times Bob Holly will hit like the Mary Poppins flying nothing, where he just kind of jumps like up and like the person's only like 2 feet in front of them, so it just comes straight down.
At least Jericho's flying nothing. He kind of like at least bends his knees and like lunges a little bit, so like he could be doing something, but he just doesn't.
Saturn kicks out and then hits a 10-punch spot in the corner before pulling his dress over Jericho's face.
Yeah, I don't really know what he was going for there. Was he trying to like just disorient him, I guess?
I don't know. Saturn counters a top rope crossbody into the rings of Saturn, but Jericho manages to get his feet on the ropes. Saturn then goes for a lion salt, but Jericho moves and hits one of his own. Saturn manages to hit the Death Valley driver on Jericho, but doesn't pin him.
This is where it got weird.
Instead, he hits the Death Valley driver on the ref and leaves.
Yeah, just walks out of the ring.
While he's walking out, he turns to the camera and says, "Life's a drag."
So does that mean like he's embracing the drag?
I guess, but Jericho wins by countout, not by DQ, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, that was a strange. Like he was gonna win regardless, but why would you say it was by countout?
Well, Saturn left, so he would have got counted out. However,
but
he
Saturn
blatantly
should have gotten DQ'd.
Yeah, he hit a blatant like multi-step move on the ref.
So that's what I don't understand. Like, why would you say it's just like you have two options there? Both are correct, but go with the one that happened first. He DQ'd first.
I'm wondering if the logic was the ref is like scared to DQ Saturn because he got suspended for weird officiating.
We might be thinking too far into it.
Yeah, Jericho would have won either way.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jericho wins. Saturn has to keep wearing the dress. I thought this was a good match, but the finish absolutely killed a lot of the enjoyment for me. Maybe not any enjoyment.
Yeah, so you have more of an issue with that than I do. Like even with like TV shows, the ending of something really ruins the whole experience for you.
Game of Thrones.
Exactly. I didn't hate the match. The ending was fucked up, but the match itself wasn't awful. It was fine.
Why did Saturn keep fighting him?
Entertainment. I wanted to put on a good show for the audience. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a match. It's wrestling.
Yes, and we talked about Bobby Lashley winning the title. The Miz was like, cool, I have to give you your match, sure. And then he just grabbed the title and left. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense that a shitty asshole chicken shit heel would do this. If you're in a match where you want to lose the stipulation, it's like, okay, just walk out in the first minute.
Maybe he just, I don't know. Maybe he wanted to beat up Jericho a little bit. Maybe he wanted to hit the ref and get like a little bit of revenge, and he didn't really care about the dress.
That's the most logical one. I think you need commentary to support that's the story, which
We're not
unfortunately
going to
they
get
didn't.
that because commentary is a piece of shit right now.
I kind of compare it to various tag team matches where one partner turns on the other, but they still have a whole like 15, 20-minute match beforehand. And it's like, why were you doing this whole match? What would have happened if your guy had won somehow in the first, 5 minutes?
Then it wouldn't have turned. I guess we'll never know.
Oh, I missed it on the previous one. Booker T won the previous match in 9 minutes, 19 seconds. Jericho won in 11:17. Yeah, strange ending, which is unfortunate because in ring-wise, it's probably the best match that they've had.
The two of them, absolutely. It's like that's what I said. It's not a bad match. The ending was garbage, but it's not a bad match.
And we keep expecting Jericho to get the dress, and he's not getting it.
He's not going to get it.
I was like, okay, they're going to retcon it here. They had their fun for a month. They're like, no, they're...
I think Perry likes it.
I don't know.
Maybe he's just that kind of guy. We don't know what his personal life is. Maybe he likes it.
I do not know.
He said life's a drag. Maybe that's his way of saying, like, outside of WWE, WCW, whatever, he's a drag queen.
I don't think so.
Imagine him on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, I don't even know how much longer this goes, but this part, at least, does not follow him to WWE.
We don't have horribly longer with Jericho.
Jericho, no, we have even less time. Jericho's last, TV appearance, I want to say, is in April.
Oh, wow.
He works the house show loop until, June, and then he shows up in August in WWE. Mm-hmm. Moving on. Next up, we have a WCW.com interview with Conan and Rey Mysterio. It gets cut off very suddenly. Usually these don't hold for a while, but this just really, middle of, their sentence. Just all right, here's the Scott Steiner DDP package.
Yeah, it was weird.
And that match isn't even next.
They don't have a great, lineup. But yeah, there wasn't really much happening in that Rey interview. I think he was just talking about, I'm not losing my mask. The mask stays on.
Ladies, the mask stays on. Our third match of the night is for the Cruiserweight title. It is Billy Kidman versus Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Chavo.
He does not know that theme here.
Know.
Even though that theme slaps. Does it slap?
It does slap. Yeah, I had a really hard time with this match. I love Billy Kidman, but I could not get into this match.
Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure why this match is happening.
No.
Apparently they were a team during the tag title tournament.
Oh, yes, that was briefly shown during the tag title.
But that's not a reason for them to have a Cruiserweight title match.
No, I have a vague memory of they were tag team champion, or they were in the tag team tournament. And some match didn't go right. Billy blamed Chavo. They kind of turned on each other. I have a vague memory of this in some video package. Am I making this up?
I don't think you're making... I don't remember it.
I have a very vague memory of it, and maybe it was just an in passing sort of thing. But that's the only thing that I can think of that would make sense for this match. Because I remember watching this match, or the beginning of this match, and thinking, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Why is... But
they turned on each other during the tournament or something.
Chavo's getting a title shot. Why is Chavo getting a title shot?
I don't know.
Chavo lost to Norman Smiley last month.
Championship. Oh.
And their basis for doing this is you guys lost in the tag title tournament.
Yeah, that one I don't get. The two of them going after each other made sense to me, but for the title, that didn't make sense. Chavo
comes out to a very small reaction. It's probably because he doesn't have Pepe anymore.
Yeah, Pepe was really his height.
He's really the Marty Jannetty in that in that relationship to Pepe's Shawn Michaels.
So you telling me that Shawn Michaels went through a wood chipper?
No, but he...
Don't. Just don't.
I'm still... Yeah, unfortunately, we will never get to see the classic tag team of Pepe and Moppy.
Oh, man, can you imagine? It's probably better that we don't.
There's an old saying that Ric Flair could have a good match with a broom. Mm-hmm. I say that's what I want to see. I want to see the tag team of David Flair and Ric Flair against Moppy and Pepe.
Oh, that'd be great.
Here's the funny thing. I think Pepe is probably the second best worker in that match. Oh!
Anyway.
On commentary, they note that Lex Luger has a torn bicep. I don't know why they felt the need to mention it during this match.
Yeah, like this is when they tell us that Luger's not going to be fighting.
Yes, which is a legit torn bicep, and they're like, oh, we don't know who his partner is going to be later.
Yeah. But, like, why wouldn't you tell us that, like, at the top of the show when you have, like, just commentary and you're not talking over a match? When people would actually be paying attention and understanding what you're saying. Why?
Kidman counters a top rope crossbody with a drop kick, and this match is, unfortunately, a lot of nothing. Yeah.
I think that's why I had such a hard time getting into it. Because I kept waiting for something to happen, and, like, nothing happened.
Chavo hits a top rope Hurricane Rana, and then he hits a Randy Orton DDT off the top rope.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. It's weird seeing moves that become part of someone's, like, regular arsenal being broken out by other people.
Yeah, like, way before them, too.
Yeah, just that, like, because Randy Orton usually drapes them, like, from the second rope. Like, Chavo did his from the top rope. Chavo then goes for a powerbomb, but it gets countered into a facebuster. Shocker.
Of course.
Kidman manages to hit a fairly clean shooting star press. I know it's probably because Booker T hit his scary top rope move earlier, so the quota had been filled.
They can only allot for one scary top rope move.
Kidman gets the pin.
Woo!
Yeah, this is...
Of all the Kidman matches that I've enjoyed, this one I enjoyed the least.
Yeah.
If at all.
I know he did well against Disco Inferno in our first pay-per-view outing. Mm-hmm. But, man, it's like you don't put him in the ring with world-class talent, and this is kind of what you get.
If you expect Billy Kidman to carry the match,
yeah,
he's not gonna.
Especially because I feel like he's usually working almost a little more, like, powerful style, especially for, like, a small guy. And I didn't really get that here.
True. Yeah, he really wasn't. I don't know, it was just a really boring match. Maybe it was just, like, off his game that night or something.
It does feel emblematic of a lot of this pay-per-view of just, oh, this has some promise. I don't know how much I'm expecting. And I'm like, okay, it gave me...
nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you were expecting. It gave you none of it.
We then get a Goldberg versus Bam Bam Bigelow video pack, or Bam Bam Big Elbow, video package.
Bigelow was my father.
/ music video, because...
Was it a music video?
Well... See, this is where it's weird, because I have a definition of what a video package is. There's like 3 different things that WCW does. They have the recap package, which is usually just here's the clip in its entirety, or we're going to very slightly trim out some middle bits. But there's no additional music or any sort of fanfare. There's then the music video package, which is... we're just going to play a song. I don't know whether it was generic originally or it's a rights thing, but there's no additional dialogue, so it's just people hitting moves. Then there's the traditional WWE video package, which has, editing of, the order a bit, has dialogue, and has music. Mm-hmm. That's a rare one here, but this one is just them...
But that one's more used in WWE.
They do it every now and again.
Oh, okay.
But, like, this one was just, here's these 2 guys hitting moves set to music you're not going to remember.
Yeah.
So it's not effective. It's just, cool. Here's these 2 guys.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. It's just kind of like glamour shots of just, like, meh.
I know you don't like doing backstage interviews, but this spot could have been filled by doing a quick 2 minutes.
Yeah. A tight 2.
Just... have Bam Bam say, I'm going to beat him up. And then beat up his girlfriend on a leash or something.
What?
Don't remember the...
I remember it. It's just you pulled it out when I was not expecting it. I wasn't ready for it. Oh, yeah. Because there were posters in the audience for this. Did you notice? Well, for the Goldberg Bam Bam match. Where that's like, Goldberg loves animals. It's like, PETA loves Goldberg. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I realize I've not been super observant of the crowd signs.
I'm trying to be, because they bring me joy. I find them funny.
So next up, we have our second title match of the night. It is the tag team title match, which is the finals of the tournament. Commentary notes that this was a double elimination tournament. Since Benoit and Malenko came from the losers bracket, they have to beat Barry Windham and Kurt Hennig twice. Mm-hmm. By the way, that's what this match is. It is Barry Windham and Kurt Hennig versus Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit, yes.
So Windham and Hennig only have to win once. Benoit and Malenko have to win twice. You struggled with this on the day. I just want to make sure you got it.
It was confusing, but I think I figured it out.
I thought it was weird that it was a double elimination tournament to begin with.
Yeah, it didn't really make a lot of sense to me in the overall, but when you explain like bracket to bracket, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, do you really need to kill some Thunder time?
Maybe
even worldwide. So there is a fuck ton of stalling to start this match. It feels like it takes 5 minutes for anything to even happen.
Yeah, it was very slow paced. Everything was just slow. It was slow to start. It was slow to, like, everything.
Yeah, and we talked about this before, but Barry Windham's look of the jeans and, like, the jean vest, commentary actually notes, like, it's kind of a strange look, especially considering his wrestling style.
Did they note it? At this point, I have tuned out commentary.
Yes. And because, like, I wrote down before they noted it, I'm like, he doesn't look like a former horseman. But I'm like,
no, he does not.
Then again, neither does Mongo.
Yeah. But I also just forget that Mongo exists. But now he's gone, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, and Mongo is now a former horseman. Benoit and Hennig tag in after a lot of the stalling, and I went, you know what? That's a singles match I would have liked to have seen.
Benoit and Kurt Hennig?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm realizing that I have no idea how to spell Kurt Hennig's name.
Hennig, which I always want to say Kurt Hennig. It's Hennig.
Hennig. It's German. So I spell it, I think it's German. Kurt Hennig, that's a very German name. So I want to spell it like German, like Hoennig. But that's not it.
No, that's what they would do if Kurt Hennig was a trademark named. They'd have to change it to that.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Give him a German stereotype. Have him come out talking about Wiener Schnitzel.
Come out in Lederhosen.
Yeah.
He could pull off Lederhosen.
I'm trying to think. There hasn't been a lot of German wrestlers.
Not in like that stereotypical way, no. I feel like today, if they did a big scary German, if they did a German wrestler, it would be the big scary German wrestler. Like, you know how I think that Brock Lesnar is a German man?
Yeah. Like there was probably somebody on shitty 2008 WWE CW.
I still just love that. It just flows so easily, WWE CW.
Well, you're going to be disappointed because that's not what they called it. That's what the internet has deemed it because it's simpler.
Of course not.
That, and I think we started watching the Mae Young Classic, and I think one of the women in that was a big, scary German woman.
She was. I remember her. I remember her name, but yeah, she
lost too, so.
She lost, yeah. Yeah, she was kind of scary looking. Like, this is starting to sound a little racist that, like, German people are scary.
It's a misconception because the language sounds scary.
Oh, it's my favorite language on this planet. I've taken 5 years of German. It's my favorite language. And the country is gorgeous. And I would love to retire there someday. Every German person I've met in person, amazing. German athletes, terrifying. I studied under German and Austrian swim coaches for like summer camps. And they were the worst weeks of my life because they were so intense and scary. And I hated it.
Can't say I've been there, but love the beer, guys. Keep it up.
10 out of 10.
Back to the match. Benoit hits a big diving headbutt.
You're a big diving headbutt. I'm sorry.
Dean tags in and tries to pin Hennig, but the ref is distracted. And he was just really overall sloppy in the distraction because then he comes over and he kicks out a little bit after and he gets distracted for like way too long. I don't even know what to say about this match because it's a lot. It's another lot of nothing match.
There were a lot of those.
And I was very disappointed.
Yeah, you had very high hopes for this match. I think there was a point when the ref got distracted, we were both kind of like, hello?
So the finish is weird too, because Barry Windham gets put in the Texas Cloverleaf by Dean Malenko. Hennig breaks it up, and him and Benoit kind of like brawl then, and Dean just puts it right back on.
Yeah.
That's the finish of the first one. Wyndham taps out.
Yeah.
So now it's sudden death. Dean goes to put it on again because he had to break the hold because there's like a 30-second in-between period. And Wyndham chokes him with his like belt, not the title belt, like a pants belt.
Oh, yeah.
He then clotheslines him and continues to choke him, and the ref
was trying very hard to not look at this belt. He was trying to look at literally anything else.
Well, the ref also is trying too hard to look elsewhere because he has him pinned for like 30 seconds before the ref comes out. Like, oh shit, I have to count this. And he pins him. The new champions are Barry Windham and Curt Hennig.
I deemed this bad call of the night.
I didn't notice the ref trying to blatantly avoid the belt. The ref just very much seemed to try to be breaking up Benoit and Hennig. Mm-hmm. And then was very late to the pinfall. But I usually think bad call of the night is something that should have clearly been a DQ. Wyndham actually...
I think this is a contender, at least.
I actually thought Wyndham hid the belt fairly well once he was in the pin. Because he had kind of like the arm over the throat, hiding it there, and was like laying on the rest of it.
Yes.
I thought the rest back was already turned at that point.
I don't know.
The match quality bothered me more than that part of the finish.
This was just boring.
Yeah, it was not good.
This had so much potential to be so much better for the talent that you had in the ring, but it was so boring. It was just very, like, punch-kicky corner, like, nothing.
Yeah, wasn't hard-hitting, like, no real drama. And you have this whole, like, 20-minute match, and then you have this 30-second break, and then it's just a pin. And that's the second match. It was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and I missed it again. Billy Kidman and Ciampa went 8:26.
Ah. Okay, I also don't remember exactly what I was referring to. It must have been Kurt's outfit, but I just have a note. I can't stop staring at Kurt's dick.
Yes, he needed to be wearing a cup during this.
Yes. I vaguely remember this.
I just know these guys are capable of better, and so it makes me sad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this pay-per-view. I know these guys can do better, so I'm sad this is what they produced.
Yeah.
We then get a fairly lengthy video package. I think this one had all three of the not quite in order, or at least chopped up of different segments. Because that's also an issue where like it's like, oh, this is just a recap, and it's just the one segment. And it's like, that's not a video package, that's just a recap at a certain point.
Yeah. But, like, we get so few recaps, like, I'm not against it.
But, yeah, this one was lengthy, running through Scott Hall beating Chris Benoit and Bret Hart and Roddy Piper, and they included the Will Sasso bits in that match. And I think it's meant to explain why Scott Hall suddenly is number one contender, because Benoit was number one contender, and then Hall beat him, but I didn't think that was for the number one contendership. And then Flair said that Hall wasn't going to be number one contender because he didn't like him, and it was like, fuck it, it's abusing my power, I know, but I don't want to give it to you.
Right.
So then he gave it to Roddy Piper, but now that Piper's the champion, Scott Hall is going to face Roddy Piper.
Yeah. I know you're still looking for the logic in a lot of this stuff. I'm not. I'm just watching it for what it is at this point.
Well, also logically, you set up that video package, that should be next. And Scott Hall does wrestle next. However, Scott Hall is part of the tag team of him and Kevin Nash facing Conan and Rey Mysterio.
Yes, so Scott Hall is the replacement for Lex Luger. Surprise, surprise.
Yes, and commentary seems shocked and not shocked. Like, oh my, can you believe it? Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Like, but again, commentary doesn't know what side they're on. They're like, what they're talking about. I have a lot of notes just like commentary shut up for this match. Oh, man.
Luger and Liz.
I'm sorry.
Luger and Liz come out with Hall and Nash. Nash grabs a mic and says, Oaktown Cali. That's it.
They're in Oakland. Not Oaktown. It's Oakland.
That might be a nickname for this.
That's so stupid.
Even then, if you got the mic and just said, Oakland, and that was it. Like, that's not
It's lazy, but it would make more sense. Oaktown sounds more disrespectful.
He's also a heel.
Yeah.
Don't play to the crowd.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me.
Even Tony Schiavone notes, weird to cut like a 3-word promo.
See, the problem is, like, they're heels for the business, but they're not heels in the eyes of the audience. The audience fucking loves the NWO.
Yeah, it's a
not
weird
really
level.
Heels. They're just, like, cocky assholes that are getting fed the cockiness from the audience. So, like, when you say, like, oh, they're heels, they shouldn't be fitting to the audience is what's keeping them alive.
And I think the storytelling is suffering because of it.
Yes, but that's why they have their heel heat, is because the audience loves them.
That's not heel heat then.
I can't explain it. Like, the backstage stuff hates them. Like, they are always the villain in the matches, but the audience loves them, so they're going to pander to the audience.
Well, that's also maybe it's a bit of a catch-22 of stop pandering to them and maybe they'll start booing you.
They're never gonna get booed. They don't want to get booed.
So Rey and Conan then come out to Rey's theme, and we get our next.
Who's that Pokemon?
So Rey is rocking, it's black and silver again, but I never really figured out what to call them, but like inside like the emblems, it's holographic.
On like the jowls of his mask almost.
Yes.
So we're trying to think like, okay, it's a shiny Pokemon. But not really. We couldn't figure out.
I wasn't thinking shiny. I was thinking.
Or at least I was.
I was thinking it is the Pokemon card for this Pokemon that is holographic.
Oh.
That's where I went. So what did you have?
I had Houndoom.
Are you using the skin again? Because you did Houndour one week.
I mean, not as much, but like a little bit.
Ooh, okay. I gotta ask you because I think I might be able to steer you slightly in basically the same direction, but just a little more severe. Is he Houndoom or is he Mega Houndoom?
I think I need to see a picture of Rey again at this. But I was sticking with Houndoom.
I went with, I know it's Generation 4 and you frown upon that. I went with Blitzel. Because Blitzel also just kind of have the multicolor, the eyes yellow and like a multicolored blue. So it does kind of have that holographic look. Plus it's an electric type and I can see.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and again, it's getting harder and harder. I think I'm realizing what a non-variety of Pokemon colors there are. Because black and silver shouldn't be hard to find. And I feel like we struggle with that one a lot.
Yes. Yes, they...
Really just black Pokemon in general.
There really aren't a ton.
Especially in Generation 1 and 2, because...
Yeah, that's the only reason I have beef with you going to Generation 4, is because you have to explain to me what that Pokemon is. And I've played enough games and like sat with you while you're playing enough games. I should recognize the names. When you're like, it's Blitzy, I'm like, who the fuck is Blitzy?
No, Blitzel. Blissey is a different Pokemon.
Also, who the fuck's that?
It's Chansey's evolution in Generation 2. But again, see, it's Generation 2 and you don't... No,
I'm sorry, I don't know all the evolutions. If you tell me it's... Who was it? Clefairy? Clefable? Is that what you just said? Chansey. Sorry. If you told me it was Chansey's evolution, I'm like, oh, I know Chansey.
Yeah, Chansey's Gen 1.
Yeah. It's still something that I recognize. What is that an evolution of? I'm saying the general public. I'm not saying the person who knows every single Pokemon from every single evolution of every single generation.
It's in Pokemon Go.
I quit this podcast.
So Conan grabs the mic and does his shtick. I forget if he does the peel potato again.
I didn't make note of it, so I don't know that he does.
So the match starts, and I think I said this to you. I'm like, in the grand scheme... I think Scott Hall is an upgrade to Lex Luger in terms of working a match with Rey Mysterio.
You think?
I think so, because I think Luger would work so similarly to Nash that it's just two large power men. I think Hall works a little more balanced.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so hold on, we have to go back. Because you missed one of my favorite bits.
I don't remember this.
My favorite person in this whole... The shining light of this pay-per-view. The only person that is having a good time during this pay-per-view.
Yes, because it was during the 3-word promo.
Yes. Someone who is so proud to be from Oaktown, Calais. So they cut to the audience while he's doing this promo. And there's this girl standing in the stairwell, holding on to the barrier thing. One arm in the air, just going, woo!
There's a close-up on her, too.
Screaming.
They
Yes.
pull out, and it was like...
She's obviously drunk, having a great time. I love her. I want to be her when I grow up.
I don't think you have too much time left.
I already might be older than her.
So back to the match. Hall tosses a toothpick in Rey's face. Rey ends up hitting a springboard famouser and then a springboard senton. Hall catches Rey and hits a last call. He then tells Rey to suck it, which I kind of wanted to generally talk about that.
The suck it?
They're doing the crotch chop and suck it a lot on TV recently, it feels like. And I'm like, guys, that's not your thing.
Whose thing is it?
It's DX's thing.
It's not like they came up with the movement and the words. So like I didn't think it was like, oh, this is only DX and only on WWE TV.
I know, but that's in the wrestling world. That is very largely.
I guess
It's like, I mean, the Too Sweet motion spawns from just being in the clique, which is Sean, Hunter, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac. And then if you want to take his word for it, just incredible. But like it spawned from that, but you don't really see, DX going on stage being like, oh, fucking click.
Yeah, I don't know.
It felt a little weaker on top of trying to be blatantly edgy. It was like, you're trying to be edgy with shtick that isn't even yours.
Yeah. I don't know. It fits what they're doing. It fits NWO. It fits these two. So it never like occurred to me that it's DX's thing.
Yeah, but other guys are doing it too. I forget who, but we see it a couple times. I think Hogan does it at one point. And I'm like, ugh.
Is it also just like in culture in '99?
I don't know.
Because it very well might just be like a thing that the kids are doing these days.
Yeah, but I mean, at least on WWE TV, it was rare that other people would do it who weren't DX.
Yeah, but
like
they had a better show.
I mean, the main one I can think of is Mae Young.
But that was incredible.
Yeah, Mae Young would do it before Bronco Buster. I don't know when it is, but I need to find the Bronco Buster she does to Eric Bischoff, where she's apparently like rubbing anchovies on her vag beforehand.
Ew,
so it would fucking smell
nasty.
Oh, Mae Young, you treasure.
Let's power through this match, because...
yeah, we are moving a bit slow.
We're trying to not talk about this, and...
So Nash tags in and works Rey over before quickly tagging out, which is the same shit that happened during their last match.
Yeah, like it's very clear that Nash just does not want to be wrestling.
No.
He wants to be there, but he doesn't want to wrestle.
Rey counters an outsider's edge and tags in Conan. This is where I pointed out to you that I don't remember the last time Scott Hall hit the outsider's edge in the traditional way of like, it's basically a power bomb where you have to do the rotation. Mm-hmm. I literally can't think of the last time he actually did a full rotation. Spoilers, he will later in this match, but like he almost always does it from like somebody being in the corner. He also barely ever hits it, period.
Well, yeah, I don't really like when you mentioned that, I was like, I don't really know if I've actually seen the move done correctly at that point then.
Yeah, it is a move that almost requires the full length of the ring to do well, because the person doing the move like lays down and then you're still holding them and they drop them past you, so you need 10 feet of clearance to even do it. So depending on where you are in the ring, if he goes for it, I'm like, well, you're not hitting this.
Right.
Nash then tags in, he works over Conan in the elbow, and I'm really over his like framed up elbow where he does like the picture kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then because all he does afterwards is a move he had just done like 4 of. He does like 2 or 3 back elbows, and then it's like, let me frame up this next one. It's like,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, do something different there. Like do like a big boot, like a Sami Zayn haluva kick kind of thing.
Yeah. I did love Dance Mom Scott Hall in the background though.
Sorry, Dance Mom Scott Hall.
I think I pointed this out when we were watching it, but while he's doing the frame up thing, like right behind him, you can see him like off on the apron is Scott Hall, and he's also doing the frame up thing, and it just reminded me of like, moms backstage of their child's, dance recital doing the moves along with their kid. It just gave me those kinds of vibes.
I just realized we never actually mentioned the stipulation in this match. We've been so busy trying
I thought we did. Oh.
No, we did not mention it's Liz's hair against Rey Mysterio's mask.
Right. And going into this, I thought I knew the outcome of this match. I really did.
In the ring, Conan hits his rolling clothesline and both men are down. So they do the double hot tag. Rey hits 2 springboard drop kicks and then vaults off of Nash to dropkick Hall.
That was probably my favorite move in this match, because that was really cool. That was a really fun move.
I forget who we saw do it previously, but I think someone did that at Sold Out, and you really liked it then too.
Yeah, it's a good move.
That was a dive to the outside. I'm like, oh shit.
It was a good move.
Luger pulls Conan out of the ring, and Rey hits a springboard moonsault to Nash while Nash is standing. I think they say, like, oh, his knee caught Nash in the head, like Nash is out. But Liz distracts the ref. Hall hits the edge onto Rey and then drags Nash on top of Rey. And they get the win.
Yep. So this is the point where I start going into denial. Because I'm like, no. I remember, for whatever reason, I still can't explain it, I have a vision in my head of Miss Elizabeth getting her hair shaved. I can see it vividly in my mind's eye. So in my, like, when this happened, I was like, oh, okay, so Rey's gonna run off and not let him take off his mask. Like, they're gonna redo this match, and what I'm imagining must happen at a different time. They're gonna, like, redo the match or something. Nope.
Rey unmasks with help from Conan untying it for him.
It's just, it's so, it hurts.
Yeah. You can see him really.
Yeah, you can see him really not wanting to do this.
So
I'm shocked he stays with the company much longer.
He stays till the end.
I cannot believe it.
I think the fact that he has the mask in 2002 also threw you for a loop.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask, unmasked Rey Mysterio, is he a hunk?
No, because it doesn't feel right. I don't want to say unmasked Mysterio is a hunk. It feels wrong.
So when he takes it off, Nash is like, oh, put it back on. Oh, you're ugly. And then he puts the mask on, like, the top of his face with, like, the chin strap being, like, over his nose.
Super disrespectful.
Like, fuck off.
So cruel.
Like
commentary even makes a comment of, like, oh, well, he may not have the mask, but Rey Mysterio can wear a bag over that face. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, like, listen, like, additionally with Nash putting the mask on, like, if you're going to put a big man, like, in a mask, like, in some sort of way, like, what you want to do is, like, wrap him all the way up from head to the toe and give him some sort of, you know, like, weird gimmick, like a Yeti or something.
Nick was so excited last night when he figured out how he was going to tie the Yeti into this fucking episode.
I'm sorry, the one?
I'm not saying it again. But no, it was completely and grossly disrespectful the way that they treated that mask and the way that they treated Rey Mysterio in this. And then you told me that he stays unmasked for the rest of his career in WCW. I hate that.
I don't know what this means for Who's That Pokemon.
That's true.
I don't know.
Was that our last Who's That Pokemon?
It might be, which is sad because it was a fun...
That's like our favorite segment.
Overall in this match, fuck off.
Yeah. This is a fuck off out of 10.
It wasn't a bad match either. Ring quality, but the stipulation just fucks it.
The stipulation was bad. I don't like Hall and Nash, so that already gave me negative points. The ending gave me negative points. Like, the match wasn't good enough to make up for the negative points. And I know earlier I said, like, you can't let the ending of a match dictate whether or not the match was good, but when the rest of the match cannot live up to the bullshit ending, then, yeah. Like, it's all bad. It's a fuck you out of 10.
I want to add an additional fuck you to Eric Bischoff, who made this happen.
I swear we should from the beginning we should have started like a tally of how many fuck you Eric Bischoffs we could have given during the length of this podcast.
Now, do you want to hear Rey's thought on the matter?
Oh, did he give a quote?
In Mexico, when a wrestler loses a mask, it's the high point of the night and maybe the year. There's a moment of pride. The winner takes off the mask and treats it like a sacred trophy. It's a matter of respect to the profession as well as to the wrestler. But in America, things are different. Nash and Hall started playing with it with the mask in the ring. Kevin stuck it on the back of his head. Not exactly a lot of respect for tradition there. This also caused problems for a totally different promotion. So, Rey was supposed to face Psychosis in Mexico. And it was going to be a mask versus mask match, which Rey was going to lose because I guess he had, was already booked. Mm-hmm. And there was some sort of commission that was like, no, you can't do this match. There's a real life commission for pro wrestling in Mexico. And it's
why couldn't they do the match?
Because Rey already lost his mask. And
he couldn't put it back on.
Nope. Wow. So instead of mask versus mask, they were going to do hair versus hair. And they're like, nope, you can't do that either. So then they just did a straight match for some title in that promotion. And Rey actually won the match.
It's just rough.
And because of the incident, all the fans there booed the shit out of Rey.
It's not Rey's fault. Rey shouldn't have gotten booed like that.
Yes. And I will never not laugh at the reason.
This killed me. I was about to bring this up too.
That it's like, oh, you're more marketable without the mask.
The mask.
Yeah.
To which he goes to WWF
Yeah. Do you know what WCW didn't sell?
Masks.
Yep.
And then he goes to WWF and they sell his mask as merchandise. And it's insanely profitable.
Yes, because they also had like 40 different masks you can buy.
And action figures make him look different than everybody else because he is the masked wrestler. Everything. Like, that mask made him unique and and different from everybody else that was on the roster. And yet...
Yeah, it's funny. Rey Mysterio actually caused a slight problem in like a lot of the WWE video games because they would only give him one attire, and it's like, no, Rey wears a bunch of different stuff. Come on.
Oh, true. You can't play Who's That Pokemon in the WWE games.
No. Eventually, they had a editor mode where you could change the like color of people's attires and give them your own alternate ones. Mm. But we'll have to see if we can revive that going forward. Maybe we can squeeze some out of some other wrestlers, but...
yeah, maybe we can make it not just a Rey Mysterio thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Like,
I know.
That also just generally, like, took a little bit of life out of the event. And if that didn't take enough life out of the event, next up we have DDP and Scott Steiner.
Yeah, I think at this point, is this one that we watched in 2 parts? Or at least I watched in 2 parts?
You made it to the end of this match.
Yeah, because I think the life was sucked out of me after the Rey Mysterio match, and I was like, I can't watch this anymore tonight. And I watched the rest of it the next day. I can't do it.
So Steiner comes out and brings a random woman from the crowd into the ring, who I'm like, she's definitely a plant.
Oh, 100% a plant.
I think it was the shoes for me that were a giveaway.
Oh, she was wearing like a skin-tight black dress, boobs popping out for her shoes. Like, yeah, she was not just there for a fun night of wrestling.
He cuts a pretty generic Steiner promo.
My body is the best body.
I'm the best at sex, yada, yada, yada.
Lots of body.
So DDP comes out and chases Steiner around and works him over to start. Buff Bagwell then runs out to check on Steiner.
Of course he does. It's your boy.
They both enter the ring, but DDP fights them off. Buff knees DDP off the ropes, and Steiner regains control. Commentary actually notes, which is why this is not one of the worst calls, they note that apparently DDP told the ref, don't fucking DQ him, I want to kill this man.
Yes, and we like stopped and thought about that and talked about it, like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah, so like, oh, this is basically a no DQ match.
Yeah, because there were so many DQs all at once.
So this is a slow match with DDP getting worked over by Steiner and Buff interfering. Mm-hmm. And I just wrote, fuck, I'm over Buff Bagwell, but I'm terrified of Steiner's eventual world title reign.
Yeah, you keep mentioning that of like, just wait until he wins the title. And I just like, I think that's when this podcast ends.
It's right towards the end too.
Thank God.
At least in terms of a long, sustained, in quotes, run. I won't remember them. I just know in 2000... I don't remember the specifics of a lot of them, but I just remember in the year 2000, there's like 26 or 27 world title changes.
Yes, you've mentioned that. I like as this continues on, just think about the number that we said at the beginning of this, the amount of people that bought this pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Like, these pay-per-views weren't cheap, right?
Probably $40.
Yeah, in '99. Like, that's not cheap.
Yeah, pay-per-view prices kind of held for a decent while, I know.
But, like, this is some hot garbage, and it just keeps going.
Steiner hits a nice spinning belly-to-belly. DDP goes for a roll-up and gets Steiner's ass out.
Oh, of course, yes. I love the line of the spray tan line.
Yeah. On the
ass is pasty.
On the outside, Buff prepares a chair and then distracts the ref on the other side of the ring. Like, he literally sets it up on one side and then runs around to the other side. And is like, over here.
Like a no DQ, right? We kind of established that.
Yeah, I mean, there is, I guess, a level to it.
I don't know.
Steiner then hits the chair shot, and then Buff bolt cuts the turnbuckle pad on the other side. And, like, the ref should really see that because there was a fairly clear line of vision.
Yeah. Like, right in the eye line.
He eventually does notice and ejects him, but before that, DDP hits, like, a pseudo headbutt to the groin. It was kind of strange.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
So, this is where the build comes in a little bit weird to this match. Because I think it was on Thunder, Steiner challenged DDP even though they'd already made the match and was like, I get Kimberly for 30 days.
Yes.
They don't note that at any point during this match.
Good. Don't they make a comment at the very beginning of like, I'll get your woman whether she likes it or not?
I mean, Steiner does in his promo, but I'm saying
it's still
nobody
a very
else does.
questionable comment to make, whether she likes it or not.
So on the outside, Steiner literally chases the ref around until DDP clotheslines him. Back inside, Steiner hits a top rope Frankensteiner, but DDP manages to hit the Diamond Dream, which is the jumping DDT. DDP goes for a diamond cutter, but gets pushed into the exposed turnbuckle and then is slammed head first into the exposed turnbuckle. They also exposed the middle one for some reason.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get all three, and he just only got the two.
Well, you only really need to do two, but the issue is he then kind of gets him in a power slam position and like rams him in several times. And it's supposed to be, oh my God, he's catching both of them. But he's not hitting the bottom one. Like if you look, it's very obviously only the top one.
Oh.
I think even the bottom one like wasn't even fully taken off.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Oh, it's weird.
So it's like it's padded and you're not even hitting it. So
Yeah, so like what's...
yeah. So Steiner then locks in the Steiner recliner, and DDP has some really good facial acting before like
He does.
passing out.
Yes, like he got his face to turn blue. Like he mimicked passing out very well. Maybe he wasn't mimicking.
So Steiner wins. We'll see if he gets Kimberly for 30 days.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
I think Shoot Kimberly was like, absolutely fucking not. I'm not part of this. Get me out of this.
Yeah. DDP gets stretchered out. Steiner actually flips the stretcher before DDP gets on it. Boring match again.
They're all so boring.
I know. I don't know.
This one was hard to get. This pay-per-view was hard to get through.
Yeah. You actually didn't get through in one sitting.
Exactly. No, I couldn't.
I managed to make it one match longer, and then I just got distracted by YouTube, and I went, you know what? If I'd rather watch literally anything besides this, I need to come back to it tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking sucks.
Yeah. After that match, we get a WCW.com interview with Bam Bam Bigelow. We get heel Mark Madden gassing up Bam Bam Bigelow. After that, we get the previously mentioned United States title match, Scott Hall versus Roddy Piper. Disco comes out first.
Yeah, you're not part of this.
And then he like beckons Hall to come out. And the song plays for a while, then it stops.
It plays an entire loop of his song.
And then plays again and Hall comes out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Like he missed some kind of cue, but the entire song looped through.
Yeah, there's no explanation from commentary on why Hall has a title match. You wouldn't think he'd give it to Scott Hall considering they have an issue.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Who can explain anything? Just let it happen.
Piper comes out and he drapes his kilt over Hall before blindsiding him.
I do love kilt work. Kilt is a weapon.
Both men deliver obvious low blows in front of the ref.
Kilt as a weapon feels very Scottish. You know, like they're I watch Outlander. They're very vicious. They will do what it takes, and if they can use their kilt as a weapon, they will.
Piper gets the sleeper on Hall, and then Hall motions for Disco Inferno to come in. Piper fights him off, so Kevin Nash comes down. Piper fights him off, so Hall weakly axe handles Piper's and then uses the ropes to pin Piper. Fuck, I just realized I got to the end of the match. So, I know I'm not doing well with keeping up with the times
of matches. Yeah, it's okay. I think it's okay.
This match went 8 minutes, 19 seconds.
And you just got through it in 3 sentences.
Nothing happened. Oh my god, this match is slow. Nothing. Something needs to happen in one of these matches.
Didn't you go through and get like star ratings for each of these matches?
I looked up the Dave Meltzer stars. I think this was like negative.
Yeah.
1 something.
It's fucking bad.
Like I said the DDP and Steiner match was boring, but there was at least like working over of DDP. This was just nothing.
Yeah.
Just walk around, punch, Walk around, kick, walk around, punch. And it gets weird afterwards. Because Piper just holds on to the belt.
Mm-hmm. He, refuses to let it go.
Yeah, so Hall demands it, per the ref's decision. And Piper is a bit of a sore loser and, tosses the belt on the floor to him. So then Hall tries to swing the belt at Piper. Piper ducks and fights off Hall. Before Nash comes in, and Piper fights him off, too. He then rolls to the outside, mumbles something. We could not, for the life of us, figure out what it was.
No, you backed up and rewatched it about 5 times. I rewatched it once or twice.
I put on closed captions that just said indistinct.
Yeah.
And Piper then gives a crotch chop.
Everyone's doing the crotch chop.
And
what the kids are doing these days.
He then wanders off. And I thought the match was shit, but what the fuck was the post-match?
Yeah. Maybe even Piper knew that the match was shit and was like, this can't be how this ends.
I don't know. Piper almost reacted like that wasn't the finish to the match.
I wonder.
I've not heard anything saying otherwise, so.
That'd be interesting, though.
Yeah, that was a very bad match. Among the worst.
We're going to have a really hard time finding a best bit.
We did have a hard time. So next up, we get Goldberg versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow still has no music. And when Goldberg comes out, commentary notes he was on Jay Leno, and he issued some sort of challenge to somebody. They don't say who it was.
At the beginning of this match, my first thought was, there's no way this match ends without interference.
So the challenge commentary mentioned, it was apparently Steve Austin.
Why?
And apparently Goldberg didn't want to do it, but Nash and Bischoff made him. And he did it so half-heartedly on the show that they never, they never talk about it.
That would have just... Why?
I don't know. And shockingly, WWE didn't bring it up either.
No. That would have been a disaster.
So during the match, Bigelow shoulder blocks Goldberg, who gets right back up. Goldberg then hits a World's Strongest Slam. Then they reset. I'm like, this is going to be a fucking slow match, isn't it?
Yup.
Goldberg hits a fireman's carry and then locks in an armbar, but Bigelow gets the ropes. Bigelow then pulls Goldberg half out of the ring, so just his lower half is out. And then we get what is my bad call of the night. In full view of the referee, hits 2 elbow drops right on Goldberg's dick.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I guess that could be a bad call.
It's so blatant. And it's not like both guys are cheating, like, okay, whatever. It's not DDP told him not to. It's not, okay, these guys are old and can't work. We have to, because like Hogan at this point, fucking every match might as well be a DQ.
Oh, yeah.
This is Bam Bam Bigelow versus Goldberg. They didn't need the weird shortcut. No. Bam Bam then locks in a leg lock, toe hold, that is just bending Goldberg's leg the proper way.
Yeah, they say that they're, quote, overextending Goldberg's knee. However, I'm pretty sure I did more extensive stretches in my yoga this morning.
He then transitions to a different move, which actually looks worse. It's just like, oh, I'm going to bend your knee the way it goes.
And, like, the way he's selling it, it's like, it looks like it hurts. Like, good for him for selling, but, like,
yeah,
this is nothing.
Because there's
I'm doing basic morning sunrise yoga, and I'm doing more extensive shit than this.
There are moves that it's like, okay, your leg bends this way, but it still, like, can be sore because of, like, ligaments. Like, I occasionally try to put the Brock lock on you.
Oh, yeah.
Which, your leg bends the way it's supposed to, but, like, you're basically being held up by the ligament in your knee, which is straining.
Yeah.
This was just, I'm gonna hug your ankle. Bam Bam then headbutts the knee and locks in a headlock for even more rest. Ooh. Goldberg gets out about one eternity later with a back suplex. Bam Bam hits a scoop slam and then a diving headbutt. Goldberg pulls Bigelow off the top and then goes for a spear, but Bam Bam just rolls to the outside. Goldberg hits it shortly afterwards.
Yeah.
And then sets up for the jackhammer, but decides to hit a thrust kick and another spear. He then decides, okay, now the jackhammer, and barely gets him up enough. You'd argue he didn't even get him up enough, but
it was questionable.
he didn't drop him on his fucking head and neck, so
True.
There's that. He gets the win. This match should have been cut in half.
Yeah, like it started okay, and it lost heat pretty quick.
This match went 11:39, and it honestly felt like the middle 6 minutes were just rest holds.
Yeah, I mean, these guys don't do long matches, and this is why. 11 minutes isn't a long match, but still.
It also made both men look bad in that it didn't make Bam Bam look in the league of Goldberg, and it made Goldberg look weak that he couldn't put away Bam Bam faster.
Yeah.
So it did damage to both men.
It was a poorly thought out match.
Probably better than Piper and
I don't think it's the
Hall.
worst match of the night, but it's not great.
Especially because this had a lot of build.
Yes.
I've been thinking they were going to do this match for like 3 months now.
Yeah, and they kept saying, like, at SuperBrawl or wherever, the next pay-per-view, whatever.
They were setting this match up before World War III.
Really?
Yeah. Because Bam Bam shows up and tries to half interfere at World War III.
Oh, shit.
So since
And this is the payoff.
November.
Ugh. All right, main event time. Let's do it.
It's time for a technical classic. Main event for the World Heavyweight title. It is Ric Flair versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
I want to cry.
You get Michael Buffer. He seems a bit more disinterested this time, I noted.
Yeah. Oh, he is here for a paycheck, and that's it.
Hogan comes out talking to camera. I'm the reason this business is where it's at right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, you are, Hulk, but I don't think we agree on where that position is.
Yes, that's probably true.
I have a very small note, but I miss something very slight about Ric Flair's WWE presentation as opposed to this. In WWE, I'm only be like the end of his run. Before the 2001 music starts, it has a woo sound effect. I'm like, I miss that.
I do love the woo.
Especially because the song starts so softly and casually that you sometimes might miss that it's starting. Versus the woo, it's like, okay, he's here. It is like an announcement of Ric Flair has arrived.
And it still really works with the song, too. Like, it doesn't feel tacked on or out of place. All right, let's get into it. Let's just do it.
Rick has a small bandage on his face, which I think they said was from the beatdown.
Oh, and the field beatdown?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Or the post, like, in-ring axe handle beatdown.
Oh, yeah, the axe handle.
Rick does not come out trying to style and profile. He wants to fucking kill Hulk Hogan.
Yes. I'm okay with that. Like, that energy is good.
Yes, it is good until the match starts and they just do a collar and elbow tie-up. And then, you know, some shoulder blocks and then some chain wrestling.
We forgot to do Time to Blade.
We did. So, I was recently editing the Sold Out episode. Mm-hmm. And I was literally listening to us talking about, I think it was Chavo and Norman Smiley, like, yeah, they don't come out and just do the, all right, oh, I hate you, let's just lock up. And then we watched this and I was like,
that's exactly
yep, exactly what they fucking do. Hogan blatantly uses a chair on Flair multiple times. And I just have to know, I honestly don't know when it happened. But there was a point in Hulk Hogan's career where he just forgot about the concept of DQs.
Yeah.
Because even in 94, he's doing eye rakes, he's doing biting. He was doing shit like this in WWE too, in like the 80s. And it's like, when did you just forget the DQs exist?
I don't think he ever thought DQs were meant for him.
But when he uses the chair, I think that's when Rick bleeds and he went, oh shit, we forgot Time to Blade.
Yeah. It was pretty early on too.
Hogan suplexes Flair on the outside, and the ref also isn't counting for a count out.
So that's chair and that's count out that could be DQs but are being completely ignored.
I think at this point, I'm just counting Hogan matches as being immune to them.
Yeah. I still like to look about what he gets away with, because there's also there's a bite in here. Obviously he takes the belt. Like, it's all there. He hits every mark.
Yes, because Flair gets fired up and attempts a comeback, but Hogan stops him and then whips him with his belt. He also catches him in the face once or twice. It's like, oh shit. And I think this is where I realized, like, oh fuck. What's Ric Flair wearing?
Red.
Exactly. And famously, Ric Flair usually loses when he's wearing red.
You've mentioned that before. I forgot that was a thing.
Hogan starts no-selling Flair's chops, so Flair low blows him several times instead. Flair then takes up Hogan's belt and hits him with it a few times.
Good.
Heenan notes that basically everyone in Hogan's life should have done that years ago.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, Hogan blades here.
Yeah, this became a very bloody match real fast.
We then get Torrie Wilson coming out.
Yeah, she looked... Okay, can we talk about how great she looks, though?
I mean, yeah.
She looks incredible.
Yeah, it's Torrie Wilson.
Like, her hair color, her skin tone in that red dress, wow.
Yeah, it's Torrie Wilson.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, it's Torrie Wilson. She comes out for a distraction and slaps Flair a few times, but it has virtually no impact. The ref tries to say, go to the back, but she just stays at ringside. Flair hits a suplex, and Hogan tosses Rick onto the ref during the kickout. Then, for good measure, he elbow drops the ref.
Because why not?
Hogan hits a big boot and then a scoop slam, but misses the leg drop. A masked man suddenly comes down to ringside. Flair locks in the figure 4, but the masked man has the stun stick and uses it on him.
So it's assumed at this point that it is the person that was with Torrie Wilson.
Yes. Hogan then gets the pin and retains the title. In the celebration, Torrie gives the masked man a kiss and unmasks him to reveal David Flair.
What?
I think you called as soon as you saw his eyes.
Oh, yeah, I recognized his eyes. It got me, though. I did not think it was going to be David Flair.
Yes, and you thought it was good until I made you put any sort of thought into it, and you went, oh.
Well, yeah.
So if you remember, at the last pay-per-view, Hogan whipped the shit out of David Flair with the belt.
Yes. It makes no sense why David Flair would be with Hulk Hogan. Like, there's no straight line of reasoning around that.
So
but, like, for shock value, it got me.
I don't know if they'll actually talk about it or not, but yeah, there was the segment with Hogan and Chuck Zito where they go, like, they're like, oh, we're going to ambush David Flair at the gym. According to, storylines, David never actually saw them. So I'm kind of wondering, did David see them and they convinced him then?
Yeah, but that's never confirmed.
Yes, I'm filling that in as a...
That would make sense.
Yeah, that's a little bit of logic where I don't feel like I need to overstretch too far because it does seem weird they did that whole thing and then did nothing.
Yeah.
It's still stupid that he would join them.
Oh, it's 100% stupid. He shouldn't have said yes if he did see them at the gym. Like, there's no reason.
I don't know whether it's because of the weird nature of the unmasking, but commentary also, like, no-sells that it's David Flair at first.
Yeah.
It's
like that should be a shocking thing.
Or maybe even they're underwhelmed.
Maybe they're bored. Maybe they've been bored by this whole night. Like, oh, well, it's David. Cool. Can I go home?
Yeah. Nash then comes out and hugs David.
Ugh.
Hogan goes for a too sweet with David. And he almost gets left hanging, but then he like taps him on the shoulder like, no, you too sweet me.
Fucking better.
We get the line from David Flair. NWO for life, baby. With all the conviction of a 7-year-old at a Christmas pageant.
This match did kind of highlight how fake the stun stick is, though. Because they kept poking Ric Flair with it, and it took him a couple of seconds to react. So at that point, I was like, oh, the sound is fake. I'm like, I knew, but like it's super obvious. Like it's really big. There's not even like a tiny shock. I thought that like when we first got it, I knew it wasn't a real like cattle prodder. I thought it was just like a little like those toys that you used to get at like arcades. Like,
I'm actually wondering
toys.
if we went back to Starrcade, is it the same prop?
Oh, I don't probably
because I don't know. Goldberg sells it like fucking death.
Well, Goldberg's just better.
Well, I also wouldn't describe Goldberg as being an excellent seller, but I'm wondering, did they do something a little more real with the first one? And then they're like, oh, we're going to have this be part of storylines. We don't want to constantly be, shocking these guys. So then we shift it then. I don't know.
Like the level of shock. I remember what toy I was thinking of that you get in arcade. You were a boy in elementary school. Did you ever get those like trick packs of gum? Oh, like a Wrigley's like Juicy Fruit sort of kind of gum. And it was like one piece is sticking out. Like, here, do you want the gum? And then you pull it and it's like a tiny little shock.
Yes, okay.
That's the level of shock that I thought was in this cattle prod. I thought it was something. But this really made me think like there is nothing but the sound.
So, thoughts on the match? I guess even I'd say before the interference, with the interference, it went 12:53, which
I think I was so jaded by the end. By the time this match rolled around, I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I want to be done.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be over.
It wasn't a good match. I didn't think it didn't feel terribly long. No,
it didn't. It got where it needed to go.
Yeah, once again, the stupid ending. I'm like, Although, God, I really want to see David Flair try to cut a 20-minute promo explaining his heel turn.
Do you?
I do.
Okay, was there a match during this that didn't have a fucked up finish?
A couple of them.
Yeah, or one that you like didn't hate the finish of?
I mean, Disco and Booker T had a finish that was fine.
That match was just clean.
Chavo and Kidman had a fine finish. I mean, Goldberg and Bam Bam had a clean finish, but it was also just weird in that he signaled for his finisher and they didn't hit it. And yes, there was some interference, but I didn't mind the finish in Steiner and DDP. I thought the match kind of sucked, but it was a logical end.
Yeah. It feels like there were more.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot.
Oh, we did it.
That was SuperBrawl.
We made it. Don't make me watch anything like that again.
I'm hoping eventually it'll get so bad it's good, but was just...
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm ready for that.
I'm waiting for Russo.
You keep telling me that's when it's going to change, but right now
I
just want to claw my eyes
Well, then
out.
again, I showed you Vince Russo trying a leg drop yesterday, and it was real bad. All right, let's hurry up and get out of here.
Hurry up. Get out of here. I'm done.
Best bit.
You're going to laugh at me, but I gave it to Ralphus in a dress. I really loved Ralphus. I think he looked great. Okay. And then they tore it off of him. I was like, you can't get your money back now, Ralph.
I gave mine to Booker T and Disco.
That was definitely match of the night. Unfortunately.
I watched that one and I was like, you know what? It started the show well. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that was going to be the high point.
No, I think we both agreed on that one. That was definitely the best match.
MVP?
Oh, the woo girl in the audience. Oh, by far. I loved her.
I realized, like, somehow I have the more real answers in this one. You have the more fucky answers.
Yeah, because I'm just tired. What was your answer?
I gave mine to Rey, just for having to
Solidarity.
unmask.
The fact that he sticks around to the end, I can't wrap my head around that. That man, he's gone through so much shit.
Yeah, so that's SuperBrawl. Next up is the build to... Oh, no. It's uncensored. It's usually the worst show of the year.
Yes! Love it! Having a great time!
The build to SuperBrawl Part 1. That's fuck me. It's the build to Uncensored Part 1. Until then, follow us on Twitter at ButtsInThePod and follow us on Spotify. God, I just want to get out of here. Any other thoughts, Emily?
Hopefully it gets better soon. Let's go have a couple of drinks.
God, you noted the start time. We've been going... Before the edit, we're going 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We had to stop because our neighbor's dog just kept fucking barking. Ugh.
It's been a day. We're going to open a bottle of wine. And we're
Fuck
gonna
you,
order
Bischoff. Fuck you,
We're
Nash.
going to order some chicken wings, have a good night, and pretend this didn't happen. Until next time, I'm Emily.
I think I'm still Nick. I don't know what's going on in the world anymore.
We'll see you next time on Butts in the Pod. Nope.
It's gone to that level.
We'll see you next time on the Butts in the Seats podcast.
Ah.